Dear students, have a nice time. Today we will study Wilson's theorem. The theorem says that if p is a prime, then p minus 1 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod p. To have an idea about the outline of the proof, let us have an example. We consider the prime p equal to 13. We are to show that p minus 1 factorial, that is 12 factorial, is congruent to minus 1 mod p, that is mod 13. So we have to prove this result. For that, we consider the integers 1, 2, 3, etc. p minus 1, that is here 12. Now we can see that the first number 1 is congruent to 1 mod 13, because 1 minus 1 is 0, which can be considered as a multiple of 13. And again we take the last integer 12 and we can see that 12 is congruent to 12 mod 13. Here also 12 minus 12 equal to 0, which is a multiple of 13. And what about the remaining integers from 2 to 11? We can take pairs of integers from this list such that product of each pair is congruent to 1 mod 13. Here 12 congruent to 12 mod 13 can be written as 12 congruent to minus 1 mod 13, because we have the result A congruent to B mod n is equivalent to A congruent to B minus n mod n. So that is 12 congruent to 12 minus 13, that is minus 1 mod 13. So here we have two congruences when we take the integers 1 and 12. What about the remaining integers from 2 to 11? We can take pairs of these integers such that product of each pair is congruent to 1 mod 13. You can see that 2 into 7 is 14. 14 when divided by 13, the remainder is 1. So 14 is congruent to 1 mod 13. Again 3 into 9 is 27. 27 when divided by 13, the remainder is again 1. So 3 into 9 is congruent to 1 mod 13. Again 4 into 10 is congruent to 1 mod 13. 5 into 8 is congruent to 1 mod 13, because 5 into 8 is 40. 40 minus 1 is 39, which is a multiple of 13. And again 6 into 11 is congruent to 1 mod 13. Here we take pairs of integers from the list 2, 3, etc. 11, and product of each pair is congruent to 1 mod 13. And you can see that here the integers 2, 3, etc. 11 occurs exactly once in these congruences. So now you multiply all the congruences in 1, 2 and 3, and you may write 1 into 2 into 3 into etc. 11 into 12. Then we get, this is the product of all the integers in the left hand sides of the congruences 1, 2 and the set 3. And this is congruent to in the right hand side of the congruences. In the first congruence it is 1, in the second congruence it is minus 1, and all other congruences right hand side is 1. So when we multiply the right hand sides of all these congruences, we will get minus 1. So we have 1 into 2 into etc. into 11 is congruent to minus 1 mod 13. And 1 into 2 into etc. 12 is 12 factorial, which is congruent to minus 1 mod 13. So this is the result in Wilson's theorem. Now let us go to the general proof of the theorem. So Wilson's theorem, if p is a prime, then p minus 1 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod p. Let p equal to 2. Then we have 2 minus 1 factorial, that is 1 factorial is minus 1 mod 2, which is true because 1 minus minus 1 is 2. 2 is a multiple of 2. Again when p equal to 3, we have the relation 2 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 3. 2 factorial is 2. 2 minus minus 1, that is 3. 3 is a multiple of 3. So this relation is also true. So the congruence p minus 1 factorial congruent to minus 1 mod p is true when p equal to 2 and 3. So now we are considering the case when p is greater than 3. Suppose that a is any positive integer among 1, 2, 3, etc. p minus 1. And consider the congruence ax congruent to 1 mod p. Now this is a linear congruence and it has a solution if GCD of a and p divides 1. And a is an integer between 1 to etc. p minus 1. So its GCD with p is always 1. and we know 1 divides 1. Therefore, this linear congruence has a unique solution because the GCD of A and P equal to 1, it has a unique solution. So, since GCD of A and P equal to 1, this linear congruence has a unique solution modulo P. That is, if there is any other solution, then that will be congruent to the unique solution modulo P. Let the solution be A dash. And clearly this A dash will lie between 1 and P minus 1. And so the solution A dash lies between 1 and P minus 1, and it satisfies the linear congruence A dash congruent to 1 mod P. And is it possible that this A dash equal to A? A is any integer we choose from the list of integers 1, 2, 3, etc. P minus 1, and A dash also lies between 1 and P minus 1. So A dash may be equal to A in some times. So what happens when A equal to A dash? Then we have A square is congruent to 1 mod P. In the case if A equal to A dash, or we can write A square minus 1 is congruent to 0 mod P, or A minus 1 into A plus 1 is congruent to 0 mod P. So this means that A minus 1 into A plus 1 is a multiple of P. That is, P divides A minus 1, or A plus 1 is a multiple of P, that is P divides A plus 1. That is, A minus 1 is congruent to 0 mod P, or A plus 1 is congruent to 0 mod P. A minus 1 congruent to 0 mod P means that A equal to 1. That is 1 minus 1 equal to 0, which is congruent to 0 mod P. And in the second case, if A plus 1 congruent to 0 mod P, then A plus 1 is a multiple of P, then A must be P minus 1. Then we have A plus 1 is P minus 1 plus 1, that's equal to P, which is a multiple of P. So, in the case, if A equal to A dash in the linear congruence A dash congruent to 1 mod P, then that occurs if and only if this A equal to, that is the integer we choose from 1 to etc. P minus 1 is A, and that A should be equal to 1 or P minus 1. That is what happened in the example also. Here we take the first integer 1, then it is congruent to 1 mod 13, and if we take the last integer P minus 1, then it is congruent to P minus 1 mod 13. That is, when we consider the linear congruence Ax congruent to 1 mod P, the unique solution A dash will be equal to A only if that A equal to 1 or P minus 1. Here we choose an integer small a from the list 1, 2, 3, etc. P minus 1, and we consider the linear congruence Ax congruent to 1 mod P, and this has a unique solution since GCD of AP equal to 1, and that 1 divides 1. And the solution of this linear congruence X is unique modulo P. Unique modulo P means that it is an integer between 1 and P minus 1, and if there is any other solution X dash, then X will be congruent to X dash mod P. We consider the unique solution as A dash, and now we have the linear congruence A dash congruent to 1 mod P, since A dash is the solution of this linear congruence. And we proved that A equal to A dash if A equal to 1 or A equal to P minus 1. So now we have two linear congruences. If A equal to 1, that is 1 into 1 is congruent to 1 mod P. That is one linear congruence. That is, in the linear congruence Ax congruent to 1 mod P, we put A equal to 1. When A equal to 1, this A dash also equal to 1. So we have 1 into 1, that is 1 congruent to 1 mod P. Now A equal to A dash happens at A equal to P minus 1 also. Now we have P minus 1 into P minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod P. So we omit these two cases when A equal to A dash. What will be the remaining cases? What happens if A equal to 2, A equal to 3, etc., A equal to P minus 2? In these cases we have A is 2, so Ax congruent to 1 mod P can be written as 2x congruent to 1 mod P, and this has a solution x equal to A dash, and this A dash is again an integer between 2 and P minus 2, that is 2 less than or equal to A dash less than or equal to P minus 2, and again when A equal to 3, we have 3x congruent to 1 mod p. And here also the solution may become some a dash, and that a dash also lies between 2 and p minus 2 and so on. So we can pair the integers from 2 to p minus 2 such that product of each pair is congruent to 1 mod p. Hence, if we omit the numbers 1 and p minus 1, we can group the remaining integers 2, 3, etc. p minus 2 into pairs a dash such that a into a dash is congruent to 1 mod p. And we can multiply all these congruences together and we will get 2 into 3 into etc. p minus 2 is congruent to 1 mod p. In all the congruences, the left hand side is product of a pair a and a dash where a and a dash are both integers between 2 and p minus 2. And how many congruences are there? Here there are p minus 3 integers and we are pairing the integers. Hence there are p minus 3 by 2 congruences. And in the right hand side of the congruences there is always 1. So we get the product as 2 into 3 into etc. p minus 2 is congruent to 1 mod p. And we know p minus 1 is congruent to p minus 1 mod p because p minus 1 minus p minus 1 is 0, which is a multiple of p. And this can be written as this is congruent to minus 1 mod p because we have the result if a congruent to b mod n, then a is congruent to b minus n mod n. That is p minus 1 minus p is minus 1. So we have p minus 1 is congruent to minus 1 mod p. So we can again multiply these two congruences 1 and 2. We will get 2 into 3 into etc. p minus 2 into p minus 1. That is actually p minus 1 factorial is congruent to 1 into minus 1 is minus 1 mod p. So we have p minus 1 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod p, where p is a prime. So this is Wilson's theorem. Let us apply Wilson's theorem in some number theoretic problems. Find the remainder when 15 factorial is divided by 17. We know 17 is a prime number. By Wilson's theorem, by taking p equal to 17, we may write p minus 1 factorial, that is 16 factorial, is congruent to minus 1 mod 17. Now 16 factorial is 1 into 2 into etc. 15, that is 15 factorial into 16. So this is congruent to minus 1 mod 17. We have the result if a congruent to b mod n, then a is congruent to b plus n mod n. Applying here, we have 15 factorial into 16 is congruent to minus 1 plus 17, that is 16 mod 17. Now GCD of 16 and 17 equal to 1. So we can cancel this common factor from both sides of this congruence and we may write 15 factorial is congruent to 1 mod 17. That is, when 15 factorial is divided by 17, the remainder is 1. So the required remainder in the problem is 1. And the problem, find the remainder when 2 into 26 factorial is divided by 29. By Wilson's theorem, we have p minus 1 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod p, where p is a prime. Here 29 is a prime, so we can write 29 minus 1 is 28 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 29. In the problem, we have to find the remainder when 2 into 26 factorial is divided by 29. So we may express this 28 factorial as 28 into 27 into 26 factorial. Because 28 factorial is 1 into 2 into etc. 26, that is 26 factorial into 27 into 28. So this is congruent to minus 1 mod 29. Again, in the place of minus 1, we can write 29 minus 1, that is 28. Here also we apply the result if a congruent to b mod n, then a is congruent to b plus n mod n. So here minus 1 plus 29 is 28. And we may note that GCD of 28 and 29 equal to 1. We may cancel the term 28 from both sides of the equation and you may write 27 into 26 factorial is congruent to 1 mod 29. Now 27 can be written as 29 minus 2. We are expressing the term 27 in connection with 29. So we have 27 equal to 29 minus 2. So we have 29 minus 2 into 26 factorial is congruent to 1 mod 29. Removing the bracket, we get 29 into 26 factorial minus 2 into 26 factorial is congruent to 1 mod 29. So this means 29 into 26 factorial minus 2 into 26 factorial minus 1 is equal to a multiple of 29. Since 29 into 26 factorial is a multiple of 29, this term minus 2 into 26 factorial minus 1 is also a multiple of 29. Or you may write 2 into 26 factorial plus 1 equal to a multiple of 29. In other words, 2 into 26 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 29. Since 2 into 26 factorial minus of minus 1, that is plus 1, equal to a multiple of 29. Therefore, 2 into 26 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 29. That is, the remainder obtained when 2 into 26 factorial is divided by 29 is negative 1. If you want to express the remainder as a positive integer, we may write this is congruent to minus 1 plus 29, that is congruent to 28 mod 29. Therefore, the required remainder equal to 28. One more problem. Prove that 18 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 437. Here you may note that 437 is not a prime number. It is composite and it may be expressed as the product of primes 23 and 19. So 437 equal to 23 into 19. So we will apply Wilson's theorem 2 times. First by taking P as 23 and then by taking P as 19. So when P equal to 23, by Wilson's theorem we have P minus 1 factorial, that is 22 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 23. In the problem we have 18 factorial. So this 22 factorial may be written as 22 into 21 into 20 into 19 into 18 factorial, which is congruent to minus 1 mod 23. Now we will express each of these digits 22, 21, 20 and 19 in terms of 23. So 22 can be written as 23 minus 1, 21 is 23 minus 2, 20 is 23 minus 3 and 19 is 23 minus 4 into 18 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 23. When we remove all these brackets, we may note that all the terms contains 23 as a factor except the last term, which is minus 1 into minus 2 into minus 3 into minus 4 into 18 factorial. So you may write this term is congruent to minus 1 mod 23 because in the product all other terms contains a factor as 23. So when we multiply these terms together, we will get 24 into 18 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 23. Again we will express this 24 in terms of 23, that is 23 plus 1 into 18 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 23. So when we remove the bracket, one term is 23 into 18 factorial, it involves 23, so there is no need to write in the congruence. Another term is 1 into 18 factorial, that is 18 factorial, which is congruent to minus 1 mod 23. Hence we proved that 18 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 23. Now we have to show that 18 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 19 also. For that, we will again apply Wilson's theorem for P equal to 19. So we have P minus 1 factorial, that is 18 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 19. So we get the result in a straightforward way. So this is congruence 3. Now from these two congruences, we may conclude that 18 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 23 into 19 because GCD of 23 and 19 equal to 1. So we have the result 18 factorial is congruent to minus 1 mod 437.